So first thing, the hardest question, obviously. Who are you? What are your roles? And what's your whole deal?
The hardest question. Yeah, I'm not really sure anymore. I'm Kaitlyn. I'm the activities officer of YorkSU.
I'm Lewis. I'm the Union Affairs Officer of YorkSU.
I'm Freddy. I'm the Community and Wellbeing Officer at YorkSU.
Interesting.
Fabulous. Great to have you guys here.
Yeah, so far so good.
Great, cool.
I think
That
also
was the correct answer.
We passed. We passed. I like
Next
it.
round.
We have been practicing all year on that particular
It's
question.
Hi, I'm a Sab.
Yeah. Is that worth points? Or is it
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've got a buzzer for you if you get it wrong.
We've got some Lancaster subs. Come in. No, kidding.
No, you
We're
don't.
kidding.
We're kidding. Right. Next question. The second hardest question. Yeah, but you've done well so far. What do your jobs actually mean? Like, what does that mean for the people of York? I know when I was, when I first got here, people said the word SABs, and I was incredibly confused. And I've been here a year now. So what do you do?
I mean, I feel like the interesting question was, what do you think we do?
Okay, that's actually. So I don't appreciate it being turned around on me, but
It's like when you go to a job interview and you ask them, like, why should I want to work for you?
yeah, exactly. My understanding is generally that you work for YorkSU, right?
Good start.
Right, that's a good start.
Yep.
Also, my understanding is that your job, in the vaguest of terms, is to advocate for students in various walks of life, right? So we have the wellbeing officer here. Wellbeing sort of speaks for itself. Activities, yeah,
Kind of speak for
Does it
themselves.
speak for itself?
yeah. I mean, we're under activities, right?
Yeah.
That's clubs and societies.
Roses,
Yes,
activities.
Yes.
Yep.
Affairs.
You know.
Affairs. Elaborate.
What affairs are you unionising?
I mean, I guess affairs is meant to just mean anything, which kind of
The going
Like
on,
matters.
the goings on of
it
the
kind of
union.
does describe the job, because I basically do everything and anything, whatever usually the biggest problems are end up being my problem to deal with.
So you two
Right.
just sit there. Yeah.
We do a lot of working together because well-being and community are some of the biggest problems.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
a lot of the stuff that's in my realm, like cost of living and housing and mental health, are kind of the most pressing issues facing students anyway. So how our dynamic kind of works is Lewis does like the kind of like flashy public facing stuff, and then after he does that, it means that I have to go to like 3 new meetings. And it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
but it's all good.
I just give societies money.
Oh, that's why we like you.
Yeah, right,
Thank
right.
you.
Yes.
Of course.
Someone put that money
Exactly.
back to the side.
Yeah. So, speaking of flashy in-person things, I did have a question for you, Freddie. Yeah, this is a little bit of my special interest.
Oh, nice.
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
Today, was it today? It was yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yesterday, the women's football team.
Yes.
There was a protest.
Yes.
So for our viewers who are unable to see it,
Oh.
we've got the clip. I think, are we going to stick it on the screen?
Oh, nice.
We're going to stick it on the
Oh, that'd
screen,
be
so you should be able to see
Woohoo.
where I talk, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Save us some time.
What a vibe.
Yeah.
But essentially, the way that it worked was that the FA, which is the Football Association for the United Kingdom, recently came up with a decision to say that they weren't going to allow trans women to compete in women's football, which, of course, was met with controversy. shall we
Backlash.
say.
Backlash,
Yeah.
considerable
Backlash.
backlash.
Yeah.
Considerable
Yes,
backlash.
yeah.
Yes. So yesterday, the women's football teams, right before the start of their match, they held up a big trans flag, and I've been told by reliable sources that you were the mastermind behind this.
I was, yeah.
So would you care to talk about like why you felt like it was important, and sort of what goes into the planning of a protest at the biggest event of the York calendar?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for asking about it. I think protest might be a bit strong. It was more like kind of demonstration of support, kind of show of solidarity kind of thing, because we weren't trying to like cause any disturbance or anything really. But yeah, what went into it? A lot of work, a lot of messaging different people on Instagram to get to promote it.
Oh, wow.
Which really helped to get the word out, and a lot of coordination with our 2 fantastic the clubs, both the York and the Lancaster clubs were massively supported, really on board. I was anticipating I was going to have to like maybe convince them to be up for it, but they were both in for it straight away. But why it's an important issue? football is really like personally important to me. I'm literally decked out in merch from my own club, which maybe says that. It holds such a significance in my life, and the thought that people's communities are being stripped away from them, that rang true with not just me as a person, but my job to look after the well-being and the happiness in the community of students. It's not an exaggeration to say that sports is life-saving for people, and I think that everybody should have the right to play sports in the way that fits with their human rights. And it's crazy that is now a controversial statement, but that's what I think, and that's what our clubs think, and that's what our students think. Because I've not had one bit of negative feedback on this. Everything on socials has been really positive, and we'll be taking those concerns and the positive feedback that this has generated to the FA next week, and we'll be translating this into lobbying action to hopefully get them to reverse the decision. But yeah, so I just rambled on. I should have.
No,
No,
that
it's
maybe saved that for some
lovely.
follow-up questions.
Yeah, we're gonna stick that in some highlights somewhere. That's
No,
great.
it's fine, yeah.
I'm really just impressed. I'm sorry, I've been speaking over you a little bit here, Francis.
No. I was just been like, yes. I've been so happy. Like, congrats, guys. No, it was all good. Like, it was great to see you guys like, advocate for something. Like, it's great to see such an active students' union, especially following elections, everything that came after. Like, it was so good to see kind of a unified union.
Yeah.
As silly as that sounds to say,
Yeah.
for you to have that to kind of really support the students themselves, and especially at such a time as well, like to have that I would say the biggest event, and as we keep harking on about, the biggest varsity in Europe. It means a lot to a lot of students. So thank you.
Yeah, no, it's okay. There's just one more thing I wanted to touch on about it, which is that in the media this week, there's been a lot bandied around, there's only this many trans women even registered with the FA. So sort of to emphasize the kind of pointlessness of what's going on. And I definitely sympathize with that point. But I feel as though when people talk about that, it makes it seem like there would be an okay number of trans women to do this. And that's just not the case. Because what that number doesn't tell you is the trans women who aren't registered yet. And the trans women who, if this ruling stands, will never be registered to play sports the way they want to. I think it's abhorrent. So I'm going to try and use what platform I've got, collaborating with all the Lancaster Sabs have been really supportive as well, by the way. So big shout out to them. And everybody at the Lancaster Women Plus in Sports Society has been amazing as well. So yeah, we'll be collaborating with them and trying to lobby the FA and Bucks on this issue just to keep university sport inclusive, really.
Fantastic. And I think we're going to be able to have a little look at this, the demonstration that we had the other day. Thank you so much for that, Freddie. I think you put it very succinctly how lots of people have been feeling, in particular in YSTV, because that's where I'm from, that's what I can speak to. I know that we have lots of members who, not to like reference Glee, but I feel like,
it's a good touch point.
Minorities in Glee Club.
It's a good touch point.
So yeah, from us, I think we really, really resonate with some of the things that you've said. Now, speaking of Glee Club, what a segue. Kaitlyn, do you want to talk about what it goes into sort of planning an event like this? It's something this big, something this busy, your role, and bearing in mind I've only just learned what you do. You can redirect me to sort of what your contribution was and why everyone should be as proud of you as we are.
If you can't put it into words, you can tell us how many free Red Bulls you had.
I didn't have any free Red Bulls.
Wow, you're working
You
hard.
need some. Someone get it.
I'm not a Red Bull person. I did have
Neither
a
am
lot
I.
of alcohol.
Okay. Right, we are going to have to wrap up soon, so you need
Yeah.
to do it quick.
Well, we had a lot of societies taking part in Roses this weekend, in fixtures, in collabs with Lancaster, in their own little. We had a Roses Fringe Festival yesterday where a ton of societies came out and performed. But I feel like the biggest thing with Roses is just that, I don't know, there's stuff happening everywhere. Like, the SU can only do so much. And we have an amazing, huge team of staff who are there. Literally, you'll have seen them all weekend with their yellow lanyards, like selling drinks and making pizzas and running around, making everything happen, delivering food to student media. You're welcome, student media. And literally, the staff were going everywhere. But the thing I thought was really cool is that you show up to a fixture and it's primarily student-led. It's the teams popping up and organizing the referees and just showing up and competing and having like a wonderful time competing, and whether they win or lose, it's about the students coming out. And I think that's really cool. Like, yeah, the SU's cool too, but students make all of this happen, really.
So we're the real heroes.
You are the real heroes, obviously.
Wow.
And I mean, I didn't even touch on student media and tech soc all weekend have been amazing. This is the most professional thing.
Thank you.
Obviously, I love student media. I don't need to tell you that, but genuinely,
you could try.
Sam was
They
saying,
wouldn't just say no.
Obviously, Sam
mean,
was
you must
saying at
stop.
one point you had 13 streams on at the same time, which I was like, this is just amazing. And then Fight Night last night, there were like 12 different cameras, and I was like, yes, I love it. I love the cameras, all of it. It's remarkable.
Thank you so much.